I'm Morgan Doremus with RT Book Reviews, and I'm here with Meg Cabot. Hi.
Hi.
And you're so used to being on camera, like this is going to be an easy interview.
Well, yes. I don't know if it will be easy, but the being on camera part is fun.
Well, just before this interview, I had my smartphone out and I was checking, and it turns out that 72,509 people like you on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's so sweet. Well, I like them back.
Excellent. And I was like, that's a whole lot of people to like you.
That's
nice.
nice.
That's just on Facebook. That's not including like in real life. I've actually gone to one of your princess parties that was packed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I love it, and it's really nice to have that many people be enthusiastic and enjoy what you do. I mean, it's really great. So I'm really happy.
And you not only have, obviously the princess party was for Princess Mia,
Yes.
your Princess Diary
Yes.
books, and that's for kind of that maybe tweens going into teenagers, and then you also hit the elementary set with your Allie Finkel.
Recently, yes. Sally Finkel's Rules for Girls.
And then you have your adult books, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So you literally, between the ages of maybe 8 and infinity, you're there.
I like to say between 8 and 80, but I don't want to be prejudiced against people who are older than that.
I was going to say there's 82-year-olds watching right now that
8 to 108.
There you go.
Maybe we'll draw the line there, but maybe older. I don't know. Hey.
Well, do you think your voice lends itself to maybe one type of writing more than the other, or do you feel, because you are very funny and you are very reverent, do you think is that why you can move between your audiences like you do?
I don't know. A lot of people come up and say that I write the way that I talk. And so I guess, I mean, I don't feel like I switch tones at all between the books. I mean, people always ask me that. They're like, which one is the easiest to write? And to me, they're all the same, except that I would get bored. I know I would get bored if I had to do one all the time. So I like that I can go back and forth, but I really accept, that I can't use swear words in the books for the very younger readers. That's really the only difference. Oh, and the younger readers, don't want kissing.
Oh, that's right.
It's yucky. But really, that's
Cooties,
the only, cooties, no, they don't want that. Some younger readers do, but their moms don't want that so much in the books. So to me, there's really no difference, and I just really write the way that I talk, which I have to say, when I was in school, I got in trouble for. The English teachers, not all of them liked that. So did not get the best grades in English. But in creative writing, I usually did pretty well, except for the grammar part. Did not diagram a sentence or anything.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your adult novels, because you have a series out now, and the first one was released, Insatiable.
Right, yes.
Big success.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And vampires. Something we've been hearing a lot about.
Okay, I know. Well, I do have an explanation. And the first part of it is that I did work at NYU for many years, so it was my day job while I was trying to get published, and it was in a dorm. And when I first started working there was when Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire came out. And my job basically was, when a kid had to go to the hospital, I took them. And we had some kids in the dorm, 18 years old, who got very into Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire, and started biting each other. Yeah,
No.
And there was a hepatitis outbreak. So that's when, and I was also, yes, it's true.
How many people can say that, yes, I was the chauffeur for the kids who gave each other hepatitis?
So I spent many hours waiting in the hospital with these kids, and we had their parents got involved. It was that's when I was like, wow, vampires are like a big thing. And I actually had a guy break up with me because I liked Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, but not as much as he did. I was like, you know what?
It was a deal breaker.
Can I just say, there wasn't enough romance in it for me. He was like, I can't talk to you anymore. So I realized that, vampires were a thing. And then Buffy, I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So then I got more, but actually I was kind of put off at first because I was like, if it's like Interview with the Vampire, I don't want to do, I don't want to take anyone to the hospital. So then I started realizing, okay, this is a thing. And then when Twilight came out, people were like, oh, this has never happened before. People they're crazy for vampires. And I'm like, no, hello, no, many hours in the hospital, I can tell you. So I kind of wanted to write, maybe a vampire thing of my own, just to point out, hello, no, a lot of vampire stuff going on all the time. And, I went and did all the research about how there's always been vampires in every culture in the world. There's some kind of demon that sucks blood. And the one who really kind of started the big craze was Vlad the Impaler, was the kind of model for Dracula, and Bram Stoker had his own craze, and before that, Lord Byron's doctor wrote a book.
And, I'm gonna have to call you out on this because you used
I know,
Bram Stoker. You used the name.
I did. No.
Nina Harker.
I did.
Nina Harper.
I wanted to go the whole way. I was like, I'm doing this. I know that I don't really.
But in
know.
a good way. No, but in a good way. And actually, Dracula's son also makes an appearance.
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
He is Vlad the Impaler's son.
Yeah.
It's very hard on him because his dad was a serial killer.
What do you do?
I
How
know.
do you explain that one?
Well, that's going to happen in Overbite.
Yes,
Well,
and
he's going to
Overbite
have to.
coming out this month in July, right? We've got the sequel to the first one, and we've got Mina, and she's very aware of her powers now.
Well, I know I liked using the name because Bram Stoker's heroine Nina Harker was kind of one of the first feminist characters, right. And she was a vampire hunter herself, or vampire slayer. But she was kind of hot a little bit for Dracula, and
there was something there. There was something there.
And she was a writer.
Yes.
And Nina is also a writer for soap operas, but that didn't work out. Well, we won't spoil it.
We're gonna ask that again?
No, it's okay. But yes, and so yes, Overbite is the conclusion of it's only a two book
arc. Well, Mina's a very special lady. She will be able to tell
That's
you when
right.
you can die.
I thought, like, how horrible would it be if you could tell when everyone you met was going to die? But then you would meet a vampire and they are already dead, so you couldn't tell. You might be drawn to that person.
Is that the appeal with Vlad's son when she gets involved?
Well, at first she's like, oh, finally, he's not going to die for a long time because I can't even tell. But maybe that's not.
I'm not going to ask her for dating advice. I don't need any vampires in my life.
No, but I always wanted psychic powers, and then I thought, wow, what if it's kind of the same thing. Like, I always wanted to be a princess, but I thought, oh, if that really happened, it might not turn out so well. So I thought, oh, I would love to have psychic powers, and I could tell my friends, like, stay off that bus, or don't eat the chicken. But then it could be a curse, so. I kind of like to write, like I can really have a hard time sleeping at night, so I like to tell myself stories to fall asleep, and I'm always like, oh, if I won the lottery, it would be so great, but then I always think, oh, what if it wasn't? Like I always then have that pessimistic, people might only like me for my money, and then I think, oh, if I had psychic power, oh, but what if I could tell if everybody was going to die? That would stink. So then that works its way into my fiction. So that's what happened to Mina, and so yes. That's what happens.
And now she's in the military, a secret military wing.
Yes, she's been asked to join a secret military wing of the Palatine, which is a unit of the Vatican, which are dedicated to eradicating all demon life forms on Earth.
Including vampires?
Including vampires, one of which is her boyfriend. Yeah. But there's a very hot demon slayer named Alaric Wolf. He's not a werewolf. I forgot about that when I gave him his name. Everyone's like, is he a werewolf? I'm like, no. He would be really upset if you asked him that. So she's got these two guys. One's a vampire, and one is, this hot demon slayer. And she doesn't like demons because they are bad. Yeah. But Lucian, who is the Prince of Darkness, he's struggling with his badness. And we've all dated bad boys. So sometimes they do seem like they could be good. They're like wavering on the edge of being good or bad.
I'm not sure as bad though.
As the Prince of Darkness. I know, but his dad was the serial killer. So I know it's a huge issue. So she's struggling with that.
One more question for you, and that's got to be, okay, New Jersey is the hellmouth.
New Jersey.
Obvious.
I feel
I'm sorry.
so
obvious.
bad for people who live in New Jersey, but I have watched The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and they do seem to be the biggest table flippers, which I think stems from living so close to a hellmouth.
Pullers. Taking out those
yes, the weave pulling, although, like I said, when I worked at the dorm at NYU, the Minetta Stream flowed under it, which is an underground stream in New York City. It's a real fact that they built over it. And there could be a hellmouth in New York City as well. So I don't want to give anything away, but it's not just New Jersey.
So it's not the New Jerseyans you're really discriminating against here.
No. It's not their fault, is what I'm saying. It's the geography. And it could flow into Manhattan as well. So we're all being affected by it.
We're going to see in Overbite what happens. Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. It was so nice. That was very fun. Thank you.